We are the prideful ones.
A show where small business owners come to tell their story. Test. Cool. So
We're live.
and we're live.
Live, sort of. We're live in the moment, but when you hear this, it will have been recorded.
So today we have Rigo from Master Gummies and Master Brand, the brand. And so thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you guys.
For sure, for sure. So
Real quick.
yeah. What is this? One of those
This is one of the gummies.
one of the gummies? Not product placement at all.
No. Oh, it smells so good. All right, sorry.
You've
continue.
tried them before, so you know what's in
Yes. They're evil
there. Yeah.
in a good way.
Addicting.
Yeah, that's what we hear from everybody. So I'm excited about having you here today because one of the things that I was sharing with Alex right before you stepped in was about your seminars, workshops, I don't even know what you call them, that you've done in the past. And I'm assuming you still have some scheduled in the near future.
Yeah, of course.
And you want to tell us a little bit about that and what they're about and all that?
Well, with my brand, Master, on Instagram, it's Master the Brand. You know, I want to have a couple of seminars in the future. Basically, I want to have like, what can I say? I'm sorry about that. I'm a little nervous.
No worries. But you've done them. You've done them in the past.
I've done seminars where I have multiple barbers from different cities come out and they show what they're about. You know,
now I don't know your industry, that well. Like I've said in the past, we try to familiarize ourselves with all of our clients' industries, but it's impossible to be an expert in every single one of them, right? So I had never heard of that until we started working together, and you started sharing your plans about. I think at some point you brought somebody out from New York, or I don't know, somewhere on the East Coast, and I was just really kind of blown back. I was like, "What? What do you mean?" And so, tell me about these seminars. What's the goal? Why do you put them on? And what's the purpose? What's the goal?
My main purpose is just to have one of the biggest barber and beauty expos.
Okay.
To help the future generation of barber and the beauty industry to be the best they can be. I want it somewhere where we can come together as a network and, set a standard for barbers and the beauty industry to be the best of their abilities, pretty much.
Did you have any experience like that when you were getting into the business? Like, did you attend a seminar? Like, how did you come up with that? Like, what was the inspiration, I guess?
The first inspiration, well, I went to my first ever seminar. It was like in Rancho Cucamonga. I just graduated barber school. And I went and I seen their setup and I was just looking around and I was like, hey, I could do this.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem pretty hard.
But was what attracted to you to the idea of like one day I want to do this is what
I saw was how it brought so many people together from different cities, not knowing anybody. I went by myself and it was cool to network, to meet people, because you never know who you're going to meet.
And your industry has changed a lot, right? Like in the last, I remember when we were, teenagers and we went to the barbershop, it was out of necessity. It was just like one of those things that you just did, right?
Yeah, and it was barbershops full of old guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Old guys. You really didn't see any young barbers at the barbershops.
Like there was no youngsters aspiring to become barbers. And I don't know, maybe it's just, maybe it's me, but it sure seems like in the last maybe 20 years, 15 years, that's changed dramatically. Like barbershops are now like a cool place,
Yeah.
What I see about that, I feel like the internet has a lot to do with that because we're such in look at me kind of generation. Yeah,
for sure.
So Instagram, TikTok, and all that. I feel like everybody just wants to look the best, be the best.
Right.
First impression is everything.
Yeah, and so, but that's always been there, right? Like we, as young adults, we've always wanted to look our best. But I feel like that's not new. What's new is the turn that the industry has taken for, like, it's almost like a premium service now. Like it's back to the old days. Like
Yeah.
Like I obviously it's before my time, but I know I've seen images, or I don't know, somehow in my mind in the early 1900s, the barber experience was an experience. Like you went,
you got the hot towel, you got the shave
with that crazy blade on the
Yeah,
leather strap, and
Yeah.
and it was service oriented, I guess.
Yeah.
Very service oriented, and if you go even further back than that, and my wife will tease me for not remember, but I think she's all into this old stuff and all that. She says that the barbers used to like do medical things, right? Like medical
Dental
service.
work.
Dental work.
Was that what it was?
Yeah, dental work.
And
So that's why the barber pole is red, white, and blue.
wow.
Yeah, blood, veins, and bandages. That's what it is.
Interesting.
No,
Fun fact.
and I feel like maybe we're not gonna see any dentistry work in the barbershops
Yeah.
nowadays, but I feel that service based, like service oriented, is the new base, the business model for barbery, right? Like long gone are the days of well, I'll give you the cheapest haircut, like that was the selling point before.
Yeah.
And now it's more like who's got the nicest shop with the best service,
Best
and
environment.
best
The good
environment.
barbers, and they can do a really good job.
And I feel like it's and I mean, not to go too much off topic, but I think like I've been saying it for a while that the service based business model is making a huge comeback. Like for a long time, I felt like everybody just valued and appreciated cheap. Right, everybody wanted cheap, and that was the only focus. That was the only thing that mattered. And I think like we're going back to valuing quality and that service, right? Like I don't know, it's not unique to your industry. I think you see it in other industries. I was just talking to a client last week that came to pick up an order. They've been with us for a minute. He's been with us for a few years, and he's got an oil change place, right? Like Jiffy Lube, think Jiffy Lube, or but independently owned, small shop, one shop in Orange County. And I recently went to his shop earlier this year, and he's got the most, like beautiful lobby setup. He's got Starbucks machines in there. He's got like pastries. He's got like he's thinking and looking out for his customer more than your average oil change place, right?
Get in, get out. Pretty much.
Right. And he actually does these things that I really respect, and I'm like in awe of him because he's recognizing the same thing, service over quantity. So when a customer arrives at his place, now they get a orientation. So one of the staff members comes out, shows them the lobby, the waiting area here, some of the things that you get as a customer, the freebies, right, and stuff like that, and advises them as to like, here's what the process is going to be like. You're going to see a service advisor come and meet with you in a minute. So he's treating it like if he's a big dealership, right? I don't know if they still do it now. I stopped going to the dealership a long time ago.
No, they still have that similar style. Yeah.
And I think the last time that I saw it was like at the BMW dealership, right, where they have the nice loungy area and all that. And so he's a small independent shop, but he recognizes the value in that service, that attention to detail. And I feel like it's like I said, I go back to what started this whole off-topic thing, is that I think we're going back to that, to the service is more important than just give me the cheapest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that with you, I feel like you're tapping into something that has a lot of potential, with making sure that these youngsters that are just joining the industry, that they know that, this is the level they got to play at.
Yeah, definitely, because it has a lot to do, like, I feel like the younger generation are very persuaded differently on how the internet portrays barbers, like on how they portray themselves independently. I feel like also that I would say like the younger generation just wants quick money.
Yeah.
And I feel like they don't, how you say, they don't tend to their clients. They don't do the little extra things. They think it's just all video or just pretty much just try to get quick
just
money.
put a show
Pretty much.
And I think that's something that all industries are going through, right? Because it's just how the social media works. Yeah. We just had I don't know if you listened to episode 2, but we had Naum in here, who owns a popular taqueria shop right here in Bellflower. And he was like, after our episode finished, after we finished taping, we hung back here and we're just chatting it up. We weren't recording at that point. And he was talking about like real numbers, right? Like how much his business has blown up since he really decided to just dedicate some serious time and effort into social media. And it's crazy how much of a difference it made just by being more active, being consistent and all that stuff, And I'm assuming that even though he's in the food industry, and typically I know food does well because it's like, look where I'm eating today. It's one of those things, right? It's like I always tell people, like, people don't talk about, look, this is where I got my business cards printed.
Yeah.
This is where I got my banners made. They don't give a shit about that, you know. But I know food is a little bit more like popular to post about, but I feel like it's obviously everywhere. You know, your industry, of course. You know, I just recently I saw there's actually a barber shop. I think he's in Compton or Linwood called I don't know if you heard of him, Neighborhood, but it's spelled kind of funny, like it's missing the vowels. Neighborhood, neighborhood shop or neighborhood barber shop. So this guy, he came in, he placed an order for some signage, something simple, right? So he was gonna he said he was gonna film a video like the following day or whatever. So we had never worked with him. He just followed us. He found us online, came in, placed his order, you know, cool. Like he was in a hurry, right? And when he came back to pick up, you know, Luis, who works with us downstairs in the print shop, he's all like, I know that guy. He's my barber. So anyways, they struck up a little conversation. And so, you know, I realized, okay, you know, he's got a social media account, whatever. So checked him out, and that guy released a video that looked like a rap video.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it is really like, I mean, top like quality production, considering that he's not a rap artist or anything like that.
Yeah.
But like the amount of effort and energy that small business owners are putting into their social media just blows me away. It makes me feel like, damn, I'm doing nothing, you know? Yeah. But how's that been for you? Like, you're younger than us, you know, by probably half our age. Have you like done all that you plan to do with social media, or what is your game plan for that?
My game plan for social media, I really want to, hopefully in the future, you know, I would like to hire somebody to always be with me and kind of record what I do, especially like as cutting hair and stuff like that. You know, a lot of, like how you say, it attracts a lot of people to your business. Sure. You know, a lot of people want to see a lot of people want to be wowed, like, wow, look at what they're doing over there, you know. And pretty much I try to do it myself, but I feel like, I don't know, I'm just not that quite good at that. Like, that's not my area.
I don't think none of us in this room are, right? Like we all make our efforts, but I don't think, I think it's what you said. You need somebody dedicated to that.
We pretend to be Scorsese, but we're not Scorsese.
Man, there's sometimes I feel like my dad sometimes. I'm like, what the hell? I can't even.
Yeah, no, I feel
it's complicated.
Yeah, but those that do it well, like, man, they can make a difference in your business. You know, we've seen it. We do have, you know, we do have quite a few clients that have just blown up because of social media, you know, and they continue to grow. And so, you know, it's interesting to me that somebody, you know, as young as you are, like I for me, my age, I feel like everybody my age, we just assume that you youngsters, you know, no, you got it, you know, like I'm going to come to you like, hey, Rigo, what do I do here? and so even you recognize that, you need help.
Yeah, right? It's hard. There's a lot of people who really dedicate time, because it takes time, you know, it takes hours to make a 1 minute video look so good.
Yeah. Well, you got to check out this neighborhood barbershop video. I'm telling you, you're going to be blown away. I felt like I was watching Boys in the Hood, like when they're pulling up in the 64 Impalas.
Yeah,
that's exactly what he shot. But anyways,
sounds interesting.
So that's social media, and then, you know, with your seminars and, you know, the barbery business, and that's all, you know, cool. But recently, in the last couple of years, you also ventured into gummies, edibles, or are they edibles? No, they're not considered edibles, right?
No, I do edibles as well, but majority I want to stick just to regular candy. Yeah, the gummies.
So tell us about that project. Like, how did that come about? You know, what was the inspiration? Like why is a barbery business going into gummies? What's up with that?
No, I just seen that during COVID. That all started during COVID. Mm-hmm. So I was just sitting back, and, you know, I saw it on my phone a couple times, and, you know, I looked into it. I looked on YouTube how to make it, and then I just started doing my own remedies until it hit. You know, I started selling them at the barber shop. I started off with like $1 baggies, and I would try to promote them. I've made little square stickers with you here, and then I went to the tubs, and still, man, I still keep growing, and, you know, a lot of people love them.
It's a good hustle.
I hear nothing but
positive.
Yeah, positive, because the way I do the gummies is very different. It's very individual batch. Yeah. It's not the way I see a lot of people doing them, especially famous people who sell the gummies. They do them in such big batches, which I feel like makes them so sour.
It's harder to control the like the
quality control.
recipe, the quality or whatever, right? And I think that's true for anything that's edible, right? Like all food, all restaurants and all that, they struggle with scaling up the recipe, right? Scaling up the volume. And so, yeah, we've had nothing but positive feedback. Like every time that, you know, because we've done, of course, some photo shoots of your product. You've hired us to do that. We've done some label printing for your product as well. And so every time, you know, that we get lucky and you drop off some at the shop, you know, we're like, ooh, we got some Master Gummies in, right? And we keep some here at the office, and then we take some to the house, right?
I got them in a store finally.
Did you?
Yeah, Aloha Liquor.
Okay.
Down Lakewood Boulevard and almost Stewart and Gray.
Okay.
Yeah, Stewart and Gray. And
I want to talk about that because we do have a lot of clients that over the years we've seen them. You know, we can only help up to a certain point, right? But we've seen some of them struggle with getting into a retail space. So I do want to talk about that. But let me go back to the feedback, right? So whether it's at home or whether it's here at the shop, right? Anytime that we have some of your gummies laying around because they're left over from a photo shoot or because you brought in a new package thing that we need to create for you, anybody that tries it, like without fail, every time they come back or they call back, like, hey, where can I get some of that stuff? And so we've gotten nothing but positive feedback. And so I have no doubt, I have zero doubt that product, if you decide to focus on it, that product will blow up because it's just on a whole nother level.
It'll definitely blow up.
Yeah, because Alex tried them once at the house. Your first time was at the house or here?
No, I was at the house. When he introduced me to it, I went through the whole tub, and I was going to just have one.
Yeah, that's good to hear, man.
Yeah, it was really just supposed to be one, and ended up being the whole tub.
Yeah, and then he reads the serving count afterwards. Yeah. He's like, bro, this is six servings. Oh, just don't eat any for the next 5 days. Yeah. You're good. The 6 servings in one day.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the retail space. How did that come about? Like, how did you know? Did you always know that you wanted to be in retail space, or like how did that come about?
For now, since we're doing small quantities, I feel like getting into retail is it's not that profitable yet, but I feel like it's like my foot in the door to expand the business. That way people know who Master Gummies is, and yeah, pretty much just trying to expand it. And you know, in the future I want to have them in the malls, but I plan by next year summer try to get them into Stonewood, but I want to buy my own vending machine.
Like a vending machine. Yeah.
Vending machine. So I don't have to hire no employees.
Right.
You know, you just get them and have them in different malls as well.
Yeah. Did you have a hard time? Was it relationship based, or how did you get into that retail space? Is it because you knew them already, or was it like you cold called on them and said,
No,
hey?
I know the person who owns that liquor store.
Okay. Well, you know, I always tell our clients that are just starting out, I'm all like, in the beginning when you're building your business, you're gonna leverage your inner circle, right? Your friends and family. Start with that. Those will be your first customers, your first clients. And, you know, in your case, if it's a relationship you already had pre-existing, you leverage it to get into their retail space, right? And now your product is on their shelves. And so do you have, is there another one in the works, or like what's...
Yeah, definitely. I want to have them in, I would say I have 4 coming up. I just have to go down and talk to them because they wanted them for way too cheap.
Okay. Yeah. And you know what? That leads me to something I was going to ask. Now, you don't have to share details like specifics, like, oh, it's this amount, but you definitely take a hit, right? When you partner up with a retailer like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Versus going direct through your own channels and all that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a pretty big different scale.
Yeah.
But that's why I would want to try to promote them more online, especially for now.
Yeah. But if those places, it's like Amazon, right? Like from my viewpoint, at least, it's like Amazon. Yeah. Amazon is going to take a cut. If you're a vendor that's selling your products through Amazon, yeah, Amazon is going to take a cut, but they bring the foot traffic. You just, take the order, package it, and send it off, And so there is value to that for sure. I feel like it wouldn't hurt to develop, more retail channels like that, even if it is at a lower, profit margin, because they're bringing the foot traffic. You're not having to post on social media, spend time and effort on that. They're going to do it for you.
Yeah.
Just by having their retail space. So congratulations on that, man. When did that happen?
Say about like 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah, barely.
Have you had any like sales figures come in yet? Like any numbers?
Well, how we did it is I gave them their price,
Right.
and they just cashed me out.
Oh, okay. Did you guys talk about any other model, or that was the only thing discussed?
Well, we gave them seven different flavors of a dozen.
Okay.
So we gave them 7 dozen.
But did you guys talk about maybe, because at your store with the gun shop, you guys do, it's a little bit different, I know, but you do consignment?
On firearms, yeah, we do consignment.
Yeah.
So we bring in the gun, and the person that brought the gun doesn't get money until the gun sells. Once it sells, then we keep our cut, and then we give them the rest.
Yeah, so the point is, the reason why I ask is because I know that there's different structures, when it comes to doing, retail spaces like that. Like some of them will do what they did with you, which is just buy out your batch, and then they'll worry about retailing it at whatever price.
For the ones that I don't have a relationship with, it will be on consignment. I feel like that would be the best way.
Because they don't know you, don't know them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they'll sell themselves.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. He says that with a smile. Mm-hmm. They'll sell themselves. Yeah, no, but well, congratulations. Like I said, it's an awesome step. We've been watching you, in your gummy hustle since you started, and I'm telling you, we believe in your product, man. We really believe in your product. This is what your 4th hustle since we've known you, because there was the beard. The beard oils?
Oh, the beard oil. Yeah.
Master beard oils. You didn't get to try that. And you missed out because, man, that stuff smelled good. Yeah, it smelled really good, and it worked really, really good. Like it kept the beard looking nice and healthy, How did that go? I know you had a partner in that venture. How did that?
Yeah, I had 2 partners.
Uh-huh.
I just felt like the partnership couldn't go because I felt like I was doing all the work,
right? And
I understand they were kind of investors in a sense.
Yeah.
But it was very small. It was very minimal, like what we started with.
But you know what? But I think that I hope you take it that way, that you learned a valuable lesson, right? Like it was a good experience. Maybe the outcome wasn't ideal, but we learn from everything that we do, right? And in our ventures as we go into business. And from that one, I think the takeaway is that if you can do it by yourself, do it by yourself.
Go all in.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna partner, I would recommend to do contracts.
Yeah.
Make everything legit. That way there's no discrepancies.
All these contingencies are already planned out. Like if this happens, this is what's gonna happen. If this happens, then
yeah, definitely.
No, for sure. We've seen a lot of partnerships. Form in the years we've been in business, right? Like people come in, they're like, oh, this is my partner and this and that. Okay, cool. And it's very low, the percentage of partnerships that actually work out, that succeed. Not because the product or the service isn't good. It speaks nothing on that. It just speaks on the fact that human relationships are difficult, right?
Yeah.
Like you think different than I do. I think different than you do. And so it's always hard to bring together a couple of different people and get them to be on the same page. And I think the thing that you said is key, is that, okay, fine, we don't think the same, but if we at least have a contingency plan, like something in writing, a contract, like you said, that says, if this, then that, if that, then this, or whatever, just have the outline to at least try to, be ahead of this thing, because things are going to come up for sure,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, I learned that too. That was my first attempt at 17. I did it the same way, and I learned the same lesson. But it's a good thing, because we grow with these things. We grow. What's going on with what's your next project? What's on the plans for Master 2023?
Man, there's a lot. I feel like definitely, since it's really hard, with the gummies, and then with my Barber brand, and then with my own individual, as a barber, it's very hard to find that balance.
Yeah.
But I feel hopefully in the future, I would want to do a couple more events. I want to do a real big barber expo, hopefully by the end of the year.
When you say a big barber expo, like something like at the Long Beach Convention Center.
Yeah, definitely at like a convention center.
Uh-huh.
That would be the main plan.
You think because we in talking about starting a business and all that, we always talk about, identify the problem first, right? You feel that there's a need, the space is there for it, like people in enough attendance, pues, is what I'm trying to get at. Because now we're talking about the big leagues, right? Filling up a convention center, or at least part of it. I mean, we're not talking about hundreds. Now we're talking about thousands of people.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a lot of marketing. It's a lot of networking, going to different schools, different cities, different states.
I think that's the key right there. It's because it's so niche. It's such a specialty show. Like, I feel like you would definitely have to tap into other states. Like, it's not just a California thing.
Yeah, when I do my smaller events, I would still go to different barber schools around the area. Mm-hmm. And I would do like a seminar, and I would teach, and I would talk to the students, mm-hmm. or I would go to different barbershops or salons, and I would just go promote my event. Mm-hmm. Try to get different barbers from different states. Mm-hmm. I brought somebody from New York. His name is Marvy Marv. Mm-hmm. And he came all the way over here. He's well known. I haven't kept in contact with him in a while, but he's really known in the barber industry.
What makes a barber known in the industry? Like how did he reach that level where somebody here, we're sitting in an office in California and we're talking about this guy doing the trade in New York? Like how did that become a thing?
I feel like it's just all that he's impacted the industry, as far as, because he does his own barber expos as well. I went to New York to promote my brand. I was a vendor it was in upstate New York. Okay. It was called I think it was like Marvy Marv's Barber Expo, mm-hmm. and he had, I think it fit like 15,000 people. Oh wow! It was huge. It was really huge.
Wow.
And is that the level you're thinking of getting to at some point?
Yeah, hopefully. Well, I have to. Yeah.
What's his story? I mean, we were just talking about how the barber industry has changed, but I don't know, maybe I missed it, but like, were there these kind of events back in the 90s when we were growing up?
There must have been. I mean, if there were comic book conventions, there must have been barber conventions.
Hey, but don't talk about comic book. The way you said that, comic book conventions.
I went to my fair share.
Okay.
I'm a comic book guy.
Yeah, there's a lot of conventions. There's some that are hosted that I know of in Miami, mm-hmm. New York. I know there's some in Vegas. Some in San Francisco.
Do you think they're like a must-do for somebody getting into the trade?
Yeah, definitely. It's very, very good. Very opens your eyes to see what you can be capable of how you can expand yourself as an individual or as a brand.
Kind of like serves as like motivation. Like you can reach this level if you push yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow. Okay.
I definitely recommend.
I think you guys are right. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. There are trade shows and shows for everything, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's like roofing conventions, and Alex was talking about you did you mention your project you're involved with, the gun show?
On a previous podcast, yeah.
We did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, on our very first podcast. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get 15,000, but we're hoping to get 8 to 10,000 people. And it's going to be different states also, all over the U.S. So, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and that's it's a gun show, but with a Latino twist to it, right? That's the idea.
Yeah, I keep telling people, think dub show, but with guns.
It's the dub show with guns.
I hope that paints the picture.
Yeah. So models everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a show. Yeah. You're there to catch the people's attention
as a vendor.
Yeah.
As an attendee, you're there to gain knowledge and insight to what's happening in the trade. Yeah. You know what? It's funny because, like I said, when we first opened up our doors to the local internship program that we have with our district here in Paramount. One of our first interns, right? First year of the internship program. He's still a good friend of ours to this day, right? Now, his brother is Luis, who is now helping us downstairs in the print shop, right? We partnered up with him to do the printing. So anyway, so his brother, also named Luis, right? When Luis 1 started the internship with us, he had been here for a couple months, and the graphics and the trade show for our industry, in the print industry, right, and the graphics industry was coming up. And so my wife Veronica and I were like, oh, we should invite Luis. It'll be a good experience for him to go to a trade show and just, he's a high schooler, right? So this is something we're assuming new to him. And so we tell him, and he starts laughing. He starts cracking up. We're like, what's so funny, Luis? He's all like, you guys are going to look at paper? And just touch my paper, look at my paper. So he started calling it the paper convention, Of course, it's not a paper convention, but to somebody like him, he was really young, a teenager at the time. He was just like, why is there a trade show for your industry? Like, you can look at paper all day. And so I feel like right now that's how I was acting. Like, wait, barbers? No, but no, it makes sense. Yeah, every industry, every trade, has their own trade shows, and there's quinceañera trade shows, right? Like, and they've blown up like crazy.
Oh yeah. They're being huge.
Sweet 16, quinceañera trade shows, they're huge.
Yeah.
So, no, I feel you. And you know what? Good for you, man. Good for you. What would be some advice that you would have for new, barbers, like youngsters that are just now, they're in high school right now, right? They're sitting there thinking, graduation is coming up. What am I going to do after high school, right? And, some of them are starting to think barber because they see the popularity. They see how they look like fun on social media and all that stuff.
Yeah. So I think like what they're seeing is the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's definitely a lifestyle, right? Barber lifestyle for sure.
Yeah, definitely a lifestyle.
So what would you say to those kids that are just now thinking that this is their future? This is what they want to do.
I would say to go to find any local barber school, do your research, and because barbering is really you really have to have a passion for it, and I would recommend them to always stay on YouTube, practice on your family, of course, and pretty much try to find different seminars you can attend to, follow Master the Brand, in the future for any seminars and stuff like that. Yeah, pretty much.
So basically, I don't know if this exists in your trade, but is there internships in barbery?
Yes, there is.
There is?
Well, it's how can I say?
Because you guys have the health department to deal with, right? Like there's
state board.
There's a state board. You have a license and all that. Mm-hmm. So it's not like with us in our industry. Do you guys have interns at the gun shop?
We haven't had any since after the pandemic.
Okay.
Before the pandemic, we did have one or two.
So
But I think with them it'd be more of an apprenticeship, kind of like in the tattoo industry.
Yeah, there's an apprenticeship program. It's 2 years. You would have to stay at the barber.
But they can do hands on, per the state they're allowed to.
Yeah, they're allowed to work at a barber shop.
Okay.
You would be under somebody's license, an actual barber's license.
Have you ever taken somebody under your?
I have. Yeah, I have somebody under my license right now.
Nice. Okay. So how did you get involved with that, or what's your goal to being involved? Because I'm assuming it's work, right? On your side, it's work because now you slowed down to teach, to mentor, to explain, and all that, right?
Well, I would say apprenticeship is someone who already knows how to cut hair and doesn't want to go, who simply just can't go to school full time because they have bills, families, et cetera, et cetera. The individual I have, his name is Zay, and he's a young kid. He just graduated high school, but he's been cutting hair since freshman year.
Nice.
And he came into the barbershop and he was talking to George, and George is my boss, owner of Prestige Barbershop, and he already had 2 people under his license. So I talked to him and I seen his passion. I seen he was very humble, not cocky at all.
Right.
And I decided to put him under my wing, and
you're like, I can mold this one.
Yeah, definitely.
This is the second time I hear you say passion when it comes to, you're referring to Barbary. You really feel that, huh? That you have to be passionate about it?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like you really have to love the industry. Well, just like any industry, you want to give it your best work. You want to be, to the best of your abilities, and anything, whatever you do, not barbering, in guns or in your industry, I feel like that way you don't have to drag yourself to work every day.
To me, it's refreshing to hear somebody your age, speak that way, because I feel like I'm now I'm at an age now where I'm like the typical dad, right? I'm always bitching about everything that the new generation is doing, right? I don't know. Do you feel that way?
All the time.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not alone in this, right? And I swear I feel like with each new generation, they're less passionate about their craft, their trade, right? And it kills me because I was never that guy. You know, I was always passionate about what I did, and I continue to this day to be. You know, I might be tired now and I'm a little bit slower, but the drive and the passion is there, right? And it just kills me that I feel like all, you know, dads as they get older, that these young whippersnappers just typically, I'm not saying all, because I actually have a few former students of mine that were in my entrepreneurship class that have been coming through here over the last few years, you know, to start their own businesses. So it's, you know, of course, you know, some still have that drive, but I feel that generally speaking, there's less of it now. And there's continuing to be less with every generation. And so to hear you know, talk about how important it is to be passionate and all that, that's refreshing, you know, like there's hope. Mm-hmm. There's hope, you know, no, for real. It's always good seeing you, man. I like how I've seen you grow over the years, and, you know, it's gone from, you know, I think the very first thing that we helped you with was your logo, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
I believe so. It was the Master logo.
For the Master brand or for just in general?
No, for the Master brand,
Okay.
for my
Master
Barber brand.
Yeah. And I liked your passion. I liked your drive when you came in, because even the name, right? The name Master, like it says says so much, you know. You take your brand very serious, you know. You you're not arrogant about it, but you're saying, you know, master your shit, you know, like do the best you can, right?
That's the only reason. That's the reason why I chose just Master. Keep it blunt. You know, there's a lot of people who are like, oh, why not Master Barber, Master this or that, something to do with the word of something in the industry.
The trade, yeah.
And I feel like it's just something that you have to master yourself. You always have to be, you want to be the best person, best version of yourself.
Right.
You know, be the best of your abilities. And that's why I chose Master with my logo.
I see you're sporting one of your shirts today. Yeah.
Nice. Did you bring us one?
No, I have some in the car.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he's always been like that since he came in. And so to see you grow over the years to, you know, launch this, launch that. And every time you launch something, you go in like fierce, like you don't mess around. It's like when he started his oil business, his beard oils, like, you know, he did some beautiful retail posters, putting them in retail spaces. Like every, you know, right now it's the gummies, right? But even when it was the oils, you were also getting into retail spaces to move product. And all that.
I had them in 10 barbershops.
Yeah. And so all of this, you know, experience, I have no doubt, you know, is going to play a huge role in your continued success and everything that you continue to do. Whatever comes up, you know, whatever next idea you have, you're going to put the same energy, the same effort into it. And so you'll have the same amount of success. So no doubt for sure. I think that you're doing something that will, I hope, you know, motivate these youngsters to, you know, take their work serious, get, you know, be the best that they can at it. Like you said, master their craft, right? And
yeah, you have to master your craft.
so I hope that, you know, enough, you know, that some of these kids that are considering barbery as a trade, you know, that they listen to this and you know, hear it firsthand from somebody that's been there, done that. Because at this point, you've been at it how long? How many years?
For 9 years.
9 years. So do you mind me asking how old you are?
26.
26. So.
Estás morro.
¿Verdad? He's young, man. I'm telling you. Yeah, no.
I don't feel young.
That's good. I'm looking at your Instagram, and it's pretty cool to see all this for a 26-year-old.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man. If nobody else does it, pat yourself on the back, because you're doing a good job, man. And more to come, I'm sure.
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Cool. So, any closing thoughts?
I'm just curious, how did you jump from like the barber to the gummies? It's just so like there's a connection there.
Well, that all started during
Master.
During the pandemic.
Dude, during the pandemic, everybody became something. Yeah, right? Everything. Man.
But was it because you couldn't go on Barber? You had to find another way of creating income, or
just to find another way to create income, and I've thought of, you know, the only industry that was killing it was food. Yeah. You know, food was number one. Everybody still had to eat.
We've heard it.
Everybody still had to snack.
We've heard this from a few clients, right? That's and it's so true, but it's still funny to me that they say, no matter what happens, people gotta eat, right?
Right.
No matter what happens, people want to get high.
Yeah.
And
these are perfect for people that are looking for munchies.
Yeah, and no matter what happens, there's always gonna be food, drugs, and sex. And so one of our clients infamously said some years back, "I'm in two of them." You know, yeah, he had a cannabis church, actually, a cannabis church, and a restaurant. So yeah. I hope to have him on the show at some point in the near future, because if we want to talk about interesting stories, like he's got one that will kind of throw you back like, what the hell? But yeah, man, hey, much continued success. Thank you so much for coming in.
I appreciate you guys for having me.
Any closing thoughts for your audience? Anybody? Anything you want to share? Anything I didn't bring up?
I would just recommend to whatever, you want to start, to follow through. There's going to be times where you lose a lot of money and investing in certain things, but don't get your hopes up. Continue to be your best. Always thrive. Always, even if it takes trying to get mentors, always try to look for elders to teach you or read. Pretty much it.
Awesome.
Knowledge is key. If you can't find education, you gotta educate yourself.
There's definitely more than one way to get there's the formal education, and then there's all kinds of other ways.
YouTube University.
YouTube University, definitely.
we joke around. I think we've mentioned YouTube University in every episode, because it's true. It's so much information out there.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm definitely a graduate of YouTube University, and I keep it rolling.
You keep it rolling.
If it's something new I'm trying to learn, like right now I'm trying to learn how to make my own magazine, like to read, not magazines for guns.
Right.
For the lodge I'm in with the Freemasons.
Okay.
So now I re-enrolled in YouTube University to figure out how to make my own printed magazine.
Jeez.
So
that's cool.
You always got to learn. You always got to be educating yourself, like you said. You're 100% right about that.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you.
Appreciate you guys for having me.
All right, man.
And I'll be watching your success on that social media stuff that all the kids are into right now.
He wants to make sure we sound like old farts here.
We are.
These young kids. All right.
All right, bro. Nice
Thanks
meeting you.
again. Salud.